This chapter is very short but extremely important. Why it is important? Because it is going to talk about the implementation strategy. So yes, you have thought about change and all of those things, but what should be the mechanism you should maybe, what are some of the pointers which you should maybe think about as you are going to implement the strategy, implement the change which you are, thinking about. So of course, you need to review this chapter together with the previous chapters. But let me just take you through some of the pointers which I underlined or highlighted as I was reading the chapter. Please be mindful again that I'm just giving you some highlights in the chapter. You should read all of the chapters. Yes, that is important. So look at this. Uh, I will be talking about a figure, a picture in a moment, but just wanted to show you some things. What did they write about that picture? The picture is here. This is the picture which I will be talking about, the continuum of intervention strategy. But before we look at that, just let's highlight a couple of things what they are saying about that. So left hand end of the continuum presented in the picture is very directive and involves imposing a plan for change without any discussion or consultation. Please take a moment to reflect on that. So the left hand side of the picture, which you will see shortly, is very directive. Yeah, involves imposing a plan for change without any discussion or consultation. So you are giving directive, you are giving direction, do it like this. There is no discussion, there is no consultation, even it is very minute. Yeah, so it is more directive, like imposing type of methodology, which is on the left hand end of the picture or continuum, whatever you want to call it. That is one thing. Second now is, look at this. At the other end of the continuum, the approach to implementation is very collaborative and involves working with others to diagnose the need for change and develop a plan for implementation. Yeah, so the other end of the continuum, so this one was left hand end, so the right hand end is talking about approach which is very collaboration, working with others, diagnosing the need for change. Why should we change? What is the problem? Why is it necessary to change? Why cannot we remain as we were before? So all of that, the thing is going on. And then from those collaborations and involvements, you develop a plan for implementation. What are the steps you will take to go or to go for the strategy or to implement the strategy? Yes, so this is what it is. So again, on the left hand side it is more directive, on the right hand side is more collaborative. Yeah, now let's look at the picture. Here it is, very interesting, very nice diagram to look at. Figure 14.1. yeah, look at this, the right hand side, look at that, collaborative on the top, collaborative. Left hand side, directive. Let's look at the left hand side, directive. So when you are going to look into this directive, an urgent requirement for change, when it is urgency, urgent, do it right now. When you have urgency, you don't have time to explain, you just give order and it should be implemented right away, whatever the strategy is, whatever the change is. So your strategy will be more directive. Yeah, so desired end state clearly specified from the start, told from the beginning that what is the final objective we are trying to reach. You would like to go for directive. On the other hand, keep on looking on the right hand also. So for non-urgent things you can collaborate, which is non-urgent. Yeah, So like, for example, your group work, was it urgent or non-urgent? It was non-urgent. So you are given like from like a month ago or 1.5 months ago, some courses 2 months ago, you given some time to look into your group work. So it is not urgent. It is urgent, but it is not urgent. It has some time span. That is why collaboration, if you start the process from the early days, then you have more time to collaborate and exchange ideas and so on. But if you have something due, let's say that I form your groups and then say, okay, these are the groups and you need to um, write the report in next 2 hours. So in that, what type of methodology would work in your group? You would want people in your group where it is easy to decide who is the leader, and then all the followers are just listening to the leader, and whatever the leader is saying, they are just following it without questions, because there is no time for that. What type of jobs would what type of job situations would have that? Like JCF, JDF, these type of armed positions, or law and order. You don't have time for a lot of questions going, although they work in collaboration, but there is not much time to ask too many questions, because of the nature of the job. If the superior orders to do something, then your junior staff, you need to follow the orders immediately. Only then those jobs can really perform in some situations, at least. Yeah. So non-urgent, urgent. Then look at this: little resistance anticipated. When there is resistance is not very much, then you can be directive. You can just give orders because there is not much resistance. But if there is great resistance, so imagine that already the staff is resisting to what you are saying. So then if they are already resisting, then you need to think about some type of collaboration to bring them on board, to listen to their ideas, and then tell them why you are doing what you are doing, all of those things. That because there is, so what is the situation in our conversations? So our conversations is like there is little resistance. Generally speaking, whatever I'm requesting, you guys are saying, okay, we can do that. There's little resistance. So in this situation, we can give some type of directive that please do this, please do that. This is the deadline. This is whatever things we are saying. Yeah. So it can be directive. But if there is a lot of resistance, everyone is resisting because they don't see any person who is authority, or whatever the reason is, different reasons for different people. So then it will be a lot of resistance. When there is more resistance, then you would want to implement some type of strategy, some type of theoretical framework, some type of model which is going to provide some type of collaboration. That is what they are saying. Yeah. Change managers need information from other stakeholders. On the other hand side, change managers have access to all the information. So if the change manager have access to all the information, the key job holders listen to him, all of those things are there, then they can go for directive type of approach, directive type of strategy, directive type of model of change. Yes. But if they seek information from other people, if they need support from other people every now and then more type of collaborative approach. Yeah. That is why I don't give any type of, my style is not order, or do it like this or do it like that, or I'm more kind of collaborative approach. I try to, at least from my side, I don't know if it is visible to you on your side, but from my side, I try to be collaborative. Why? Because I think that I do not have all the information. Yes, I have read the book, I have some experience, I know the models, this and that, yes. But I don't think that I have all the information. I think that the information you have, I do not have that, because your life experiences are different than my experiences. Your mindset is different than mine. Your challenges in life are different than mine. And by that, I mean all of us. So all of us, if we can create an environment where all of us can share what they learn from their experiences, then all of us will win. So that is why my approach is not directive. My approach is maybe more collaborative. That is why I'm asking for your opinion. That is why I'm asking, what do you think about this? And that is why I'm saying I don't know everything. That is why I'm saying that don't take anything which I say as final word. Yeah, those are the reasons. And you must have picked up many things which I say. So why I'm saying that? The reason is that my approach, my strategy is collaborative, because I want to learn as much from you as you might learn from me. Yeah. But then this environment of online learning that it has made the things a little bit tighter for that type of thing. If I could see you personally, the way my interaction is, I talk to people and I ask them their opinion, and then they have to kind of tell, because it is hard for them to say, oh, I don't know, or whatever, because I can see them and they are sitting in the session and everyone is looking. So but right now, this medium is different. Yeah. So these things you would have to think about in the strategy also. When you are implementing some type of change uh, change strategy, you would have to think about medium also, that what is the medium, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Let's look at the next ones. Others have high trust in change managers. High trust. And on the right hand side, you are saying others have low trust in change managers. So that is why trust is so important. That is why trust is so important, and we have spoken about it multiple times, about trust. I- if you guys trust me at a higher level, then when I would be giving a direction, you will follow it because you trust me. Same goes for a manager in the plant. If there is a plant manager, subordinates are there, plant managers have high trust, people trust them. When they will give order, even if it is directive, people will not mind because they have high trust. So it can be directive. On the other hand, if there is low trust, then you will have to go for some collaborative strategy, because people don't trust you already. So why they are going to listen to you? So if you have low trust and you are being directive, will the change strategy work? Think about it. If people you who are following you, they have low trust deficit is there. You have done some things which, because of those, they don't like really trust you. They are working under you because they have to, but they don't really trust all the things you say, because maybe you change your stance every now and then, or whatever has been happening. So if that is the situation where it is low trust, and you want to change some type of even small change, you want to bring in the organization or in your family or within your friends, whatever the cohort is, they don't trust you, you can, and then you be directive, you give directions, how it is going to work. Yeah. It's only maybe going to work in specific jobs, like I gave you example of law and order. But even in those jobs, the trust is, because the men who are below you, they are doing the things and they are risking their life on your directive. When if you are a commander, you are defense force, you are commander, you are telling your people to go in certain community, and you are telling them that you will give backup and whatever. So they are risking their lives to go in certain communities and whatever they are doing. So it is many times it is trust. Many times it is trust. Yeah. Think about that. Change managers do not have to rely on the commitment and effort of others to implement the change plan. This is very interesting and important. If you are not relying on the commitment and effort of other people, then you can have a directive approach. But if successful implementation of the change plan is highly dependent on the commitment and effort of the others, which is mostly the case, then you would, as you are seeing on the lower right hand side corner of your screen, I just read from there, then you would have to be collaborative. So this continuum helps you to understand what type of intervention strategy you might want to choose in certain situations. Yeah, of course we have looked at these things in separate chapters already. We have spoken about, resistance already. We have already spoken about urgent requirement, urgency. We have spoken about it. We have spoken about the commitment, motivation, these type of things. So this is a nice continuum as a revision, if you want to call it. You might want to think about this. Yeah. Okay. Situational variables. 6 important situational variables. Yeah. What is the, in simple words, what the this situation requires what? In different situations would require different type of actions, different type of strategy. Uh, in other words, you, whatever you do, you should look at the situation. It is not that you have decided something and you will just do it. You have to look at the situation. Earlier, when I was giving you example that a person is coming from outside and it is a hot day and they come home and they are looking for water. Now you have to look at that situation, that this is maybe not the right time to break the bad news to them, because of the hot day, because of their age, because of these factors. So let them just come, let them cool down a little bit, let them sit under a fan, let them just relax a little bit, and then I will tell them. It's not that you are delaying for hours. It is just 2, 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes where you are just letting the person a little bit. But then again, it depends on the situation. It depends on the news. So you would not be doing what the book says, or you would not be doing what I am saying. You are listening to what I am saying, and then you will be reading the book, and then you will use your own intuitions in those situations, that how I should deliver this news, based because you know those people, you know about the news, you know the circumstances, environment. So that is why situational variable, situation, understanding situation is very important. Anyways, let's look at the 6 variables quickly. Number 1, urgency and stake involved. How is it urgent? Is it non-urgent? What type of stake is involved? That is very important. Number 2, clarity of the desired future state. How clear is the desired future state to you? Before that, let me read this line. I think this is important. So under urgency, you will please look at this highlighted section. Involvement and participation take time, and this time might not be available if the need for change is urgent. Yeah, we have said it before many times, but they are using different words. So I thought maybe we should reflect on that. Involvement and participation take time, and this time might not be available if the need for change is urgent. Yeah, so now you need to think that if that is the case, what other methodologies can be used, and so on. Clarity of desired future state, very important to understand that where are you going, what, very important. Otherwise you would start doing any new thing, whatever comes. If the vision is not very clear what you want to achieve, then time and weeks and months will just pass by. Yeah, so very important to really reflect, sit down, and know yourself, know what do you want to do with your time, with your resources. Very important, extremely important. All of us should do this exercise. Sit down, think about it. Who am I? What understand your personality, and then what do you want to really do? And then once you know this, only then you can decide that how you are going to do it, like strategy. That would come afterwards. But if you don't know yourself, if you don't know what you are trying to achieve, one friend was talking about, I think objectives should be very clear. Simple statement is a simple statement, but I remember from someone posted it in the chat in one of the sessions, that the objective is very focused, objective, same type of things. Yeah, so that you would want to think about, please. What else is there? The amount and type of resistance that is anticipated. So please remember, the chapter is talking about strategies. Yeah, so you will, and we are looking at situational variables, that what is the situation. So if the situation is where there is a lot of resistance, a lot of people are going to say no to whatever you are going to, do, then this is one of the situational variable. You want to think about this, that how much people are going to resist and how heavy the resistance would be. Who are the people who are going to resist? Those people, do the people who are going to resist in a situation, are they the ones who hold the trust of the other people? Are they trustworthy for the other people who are working in the same setup? So if the person is trustworthy, your follower, if and they are well respected in that cohort, and then they resist, now of course it is going to be heavy on you, because people trust them, people look up to them, they are going to support that person who is going to resist. So these things, so in that situation, many times, what companies would do, that try to do something which would break that person's trust in the environment. Again, we can say that it is unethical, and it is unethical to say this, but this is many times, and I'm not asking you to do it, I'm just telling you that these things also happen. Okay. Degree to which other stakeholders trust the change managers. I think I mentioned it already just a while ago, that what is the degree to which other stakeholders um, trust the change managers and the resistors, and so on. And then this is the sixth one: degree to which the change managers have to rely on the commitment and energy of others to implement the plan. Yeah. So how much they are dependent on the other people in terms of plan execution. Yeah. So you would want to think about that. Uh, some other pointers, you're going to read the chapter, of course, but some pointers I want to highlight, which I enjoyed reading. So look at this one, for example. So they are talking about different type of approaches, uh, and they are talking about what can be some of the advantages and disadvantages of those approaches. You have to think about these things, like the organizational members who are in a position to recognize uh, problems long before they are obvious to top managers can take the initiative and introduce needed change at an early stage. Yeah. Please reflect on that. If you have an organization where members are in a position to recognize problems long before they are obvious to the top manager, then they can take the initiative and introduce needed change at an early stage. And many times people who are on the forefront of the jobs, who are like the customer service type of people, they know the problems, what are the problems. And then the people, if it is a plant, if it is some production, the people who work on the assembly line or on the floor, or they know the problems, because they are doing it with their own energies and hand and equipment and technologies. So they have the first experience of the problem. And the people at the bottom, they will be making some changes and so on. And then the bottom up strategy also encourage the commitment of organizational members. Yeah, you can think about these things. Pay attention to this. Imposed change from above may be more effective in times of crisis. Yeah. Pay attention to this line. Imposed change from above may be more effective in times of crisis. Maybe like this, you can think about COVID-19. This is pandemic. This is crisis time. So in this type of situation, maybe imposed change from above may be more effective in times of crisis, because it takes time for the general public to understand many things, and then they have their own viewpoint, general people. That is why you are seeing all different type of reactions about the curfew times. Many people are not happy about 8 p.m. curfew. Yes, so it takes time for them to understand. So in this type of situation, if you try to collaborate on the right hand side of the continuum, then yes, you can collaborate, but then you might miss the boat. So you are using the left hand side, you are giving directive, but in that situation I don't think it's neither maybe directive, it is neither collaborative, it is somewhere in between also. So it's a good point that my mind is thinking about that, because let's look at the continuum, this one. Yeah, so very interesting. Yeah, we spoke about directive and left hand side, and we spoke about collaborative right hand side. But there can be some situation in change where you are sometimes on the left hand side and sometimes on the right hand side, and sometimes you are somewhere in the middle also. It's not that you either take this approach or either take that approach. And COVID-19 is one example of that. In some areas, government is being more directive. In some other areas, they are being more collaborative, and so on and so forth. Yes. So that type of strategies is working fine, I think, in at least in Jamaica so far. But they say that number of COVID is increasing now. So let's see how things turn out to be. But think about these things. And overall, in this chapter, you are looking at how situational variables can affect the choice of an implementation strategy. And what were the situational variables? If you guys can recall, they were if it is urgent or not, the amount and type of resistance which was anticipated, degree to which other stakeholders trust the change managers, degree to which the change managers have to rely on the commitment and energy of others, to like the helpfulness from the other people if that is required. All of those are situational variables. So they are going to impact the strategy which you will implement. So that is why it is very important to understand the situation. In other words, understanding the situation is going to become very important. So in other words, when we say that understanding the situation is important, that then there is you can't just pick a model and just implement it. You can't just maybe implement a theoretical framework and just implement it. Maybe that is not the best thing, because every situation is different. And even if the situation is repeated for the same set of people, they might react very differently. Same people go through the same thing again. The first time they would maybe different, and the next time it is a possibility that they will uh, they will they will uh, they will react different. So every time it is just like you speak with your friends, and you speak with them. First time they are nice, second time they are nice, and third time it is a possibility they might start shouting at you. What happened? They were nice people, they are nice people, why they started shouting? Maybe something happened in the situation. Maybe you yourself, it has happened with you that generally you are a calm and calculated person, but a situation came in your life and you just lost control of yourself. This happens with, and this is normal, this happens to this happened to normal people. As I was saying, that anger, people say that anger is not a good thing. I would like to say that it depends on the situation. If the situation, most situations do not require anger, and with diplomacy and negotiation you can achieve far more than getting angry. I appreciate and recognize that. But there are some situations which are going to require some type of anger. So if the situation requires, maybe nothing is wrong in getting angry. But this is my personal point of view. You should think what you want to think. Any point you want to add on this interesting topic, implementation strategy? It is a short chapter, short and sweet, but it says many things, many interesting things. And if there is nothing else to say, then I think that is good enough. Please reflect on. Yes, Tanisha, please go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, I was just thinking back to, I think it was either last week or week before, when the government implemented the ban on funerals. and the owners of the funeral
Oh,
homes
yeah.
came out to say that they were not consulted. So those would have been the people actually on the shop floor to advise the government what would have been the best approach.
Yes.
So that was just something
Yes.
similar to what
Very,
you're explaining in terms of consulting the persons on the ground before you make
very
certain
good.
decisions.
Very good, very good, excellent, excellent. See, as I heard your group presentation, I was sure that if you would start speaking, all of us going to learn many things which we don't really talk about. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that
Sure, no problem.
you are participating in that. Yes. So
Okay.
please think about this thing which Tanisha is mentioning. Very like we all of us can relate. Just the other day, funeral places, they were some sanctions were imposed on them, and then they come out and then they say we were not. There was no collaboration. Yeah, we feel left out or whatever they were saying. You can if you are not familiar, just run a Google search and read about that story, what really happened there. So see, in that situation, as Tanisha is explaining us, just a little, it does not have to be a long conversation which is going for a week and so on. Just couple of government representative go to the representative of the funeral authority association, whatever they have, and then tell them that this is what the situation is. This is what we are thinking. What do you think? We are going to do this. We are going to implement this restriction because the COVID number are increasing. But is there anything which we are missing? Should we reword some things here? Should we need to do something differently a little bit here and there? What do you think? Take their opinion somewhere if it is possible, and then maybe the reaction would be different. But this thing, to do this thing, this is in the ideal world, when you are in the ideal world. But it is very easy for us to say, criticize the government and say, oh, they should have done that, and definitely they should have done that. But the practicality of the thing is very different. As government, they are doing so many things, so many things, and in that maybe their past experience with this type of meetings with funeral houses or whatever was not very successful. So maybe in the past they tried to somewhere, they tried to, talk with those people and they did not maybe cooperate. So maybe it was their past experience. Maybe they did not have time. Maybe they have so many other things to do that they could not really do this thing. So this is what will happen to you and me in the real world. We will know all of these things, change management, and read the book and everything, and we will say that okay, we can manage. But when we will go in the real practical world and try to manage any type of change, and then because change is dynamic and so many things coming from right and left and so on, then we will, and we have limited amount of time, then we would have to think that what is what how I need to spend my time, where should the energy go, needs to be done first, what needs to be done second, and then in that the priority would be in a way that you would not be able to do that. Many times that happens, but then the people who are involved, they don't understand the problems of the higher ups or problems of the managers. They don't many times understand, appreciate. So I think that is important to think about. So thanks very much, Tanisha. Very good point. Excellent point. Yes, Kevin, you are saying something. I've been missing you in the conversation.
Computer moving a little bit slow. Yeah, but basically to make a point on Tanisha's comment about the funeral, probably the
Yeah,
government they probably
yeah,
as you had said, sir, they had discussion before and it didn't turn out right. But based on the videos that were circulating about the breaches and stuff, I
yeah,
think they probably just had enough of them and they just decided to just take
yes,
action. Just probably an autocratic you know, stance.
yeah,
So they just had to do what they had to do because there too many things happening.
yes, yes. Very good, excellent. Yeah, yeah, too many things happening. Thanks for that, Kevin. So thanks for bringing in that point, like different styles of, like, see, the topic of leadership is coming from organizational behavior, MGMT 2008. Kevin is talking about autocracy. Yeah. So being that type of, so you have to think about now these things. And thanks very much for these last two pointers about funerals and stuff like that. I think that is what you should be doing, like looking in your environment whenever this is type of a change which is being tried to implement. So you always read about it, then you see what worked, what did not work, what could the funeral side do differently, what could the government side do differently, why they did not do it like that. If I were in the funeral side, how would I dealt with this situation? If I were in the government side, how should I dealt with this situation? Of course, all these things are not part of your examination and everything, but this is what you should be doing. And only then over a period of time you will maybe get a little bit a hang of the implementation part of the strategy.